Welcome to Pinterest 101. So I'm going to do kind of like a mini course on Pinterest as a platform and how it's meant to be used, who's on it, and the best way that you as bloggers can use it to your benefit. So it's going to be kind of like a crash course in the platform. And even if you've been on Pinterest and you've been using it for your business, I think this is a good refresher for the rest of the course and for setting up your Pinterest strategy to be the most beneficial and the most successful. If you've never used Pinterest for your business, or you're kind of new to Pinterest in general, this section will obviously be very helpful, but we'll also have a section in the future, I think it's the next module actually, where we actually give you directions on how to set it up and how to make your account. So if you're new and you're like, where the heck do I start? Don't worry, that's coming in the next module. This is just kind of a crash course for everyone. I think the major key for you to understand about Pinterest, and that I think people are finally starting to catch on to, is that Pinterest is not a social media platform. Yes, we kind of call it that and group it in with the Facebooks and the Instagrams, but unlike those platforms, it is not about creating community. It is not about starting conversation. It's not even really about connecting with people. It's more of a search engine. It's a search engine. The way you would use Google, you use Pinterest the same way. The people that use Pinterest are not looking for a conversation with you. They are looking for things that answer their questions, help on projects that they're doing, tips and tricks for stuff that they had not thought of. They're looking for inspiration. Maybe they're looking for an outfit for their denim overalls, or maybe they're looking for a recipe for a healthy meal. They are looking for specific things, and it is our job as business owners to give them those answers and to make those answers readily available and searchable for them. Just like with Google, you're trying to always optimize your SEO. You want to do the same thing. Pinterest has its own kind of form of SEO that we're really trying to optimize, and that we're really trying to find the right keywords and the right places to put those keywords in order to get them seen by the most people and repinned by the most people, and just giving people the answers they want, and Pinterest rewards people for that. Okay, so who is on Pinterest? Clearly, a lot of people. So 200 million people are on Pinterest. That's insane, and that's a big deal. What that means to me is it's a massive platform with a lot of people on it that's being underutilized by businesses right now. So I think that just means more opportunity for us as bloggers to really get people the information that they're looking for and using Pinterest for. So the reason I included that pie chart that basically says that half the people using Pinterest are from the US and half are international is because I think it just is something to keep in mind when you're creating your strategy. That means there's a lot more people from the US than any other specific country. So if you're targeting, let's say, people in these three countries, the United States, England, and France, you're going to want to focus most of your time on the content for the people in the US versus the other two countries, because that's a such much smaller percentage of people that are on the platform. That doesn't mean they're not there. It just means that you want to focus more on the US. If your target is basically anyone on the internet that has the same style or is remotely interested in you, then this is not such a big deal. Okay, so this is the slide that I think is the biggest deal for all of us fashion bloggers, mommy bloggers, very female targeted blogs. That number, 68% of all of the women in the US ages 25 to 54 that are on Pinterest, that's an insane number. It is a very female heavy platform, and it is very much a platform used to shop, as you can tell by that 55%. It's made for shopping. Like, it's really made for people to discover new products they love, to discover things that they're inspired by, and either purchase them immediately or save them from later. So that's like huge for people that are trying to sell things and really make money from our Pinterest account. We can also see by all these numbers that a lot of millennials, half the US millennials use Pinterest. I'm assuming it's mainly the female half, but either way, that's crazy. A lot of our target audiences are millennials because they're the ones that just know how to use blogs or know how to follow blogs, and they know how to use the internet just so proficiently that they're the ones that we can most easily reach and they're most interested in us. So that's huge that half of those people are on this platform. Also, the 7 in 10 US moms that use Pinterest, again, mommy bloggers should be all over this number and should know that this is just a huge portion of their target audience that's, looking for information and looking to learn things, as you can tell by the 84%, from them, and they just need the content to be out there for them. Finally, you can see by that 67% that people are using Pinterest to discover new brands or products or businesses on Pinterest. They are looking for people to essentially follow. Basically, our target audience is on Pinterest and they're ready to buy. That is huge numbers in comparison to the other social media platforms. Feel free to look them up. It's not good in terms of like Instagram and Facebook. This is where we want to be, and this is where we want to be targeting our people because that's where they're at. We got to meet them where they're at. Okay, so I already tried to convince you about why this is amazing, but I have some more reasons, and I'm going to continue in the next slides to keep proving to you that you made the right decision by turning to Pinterest if you didn't already know it. To name a few, content lives forever. Every single image that you take and you spend so much time taking photographs of can be used on Pinterest. You have an audience ready and willing to buy and learn from you. It helps boost your overall SEO for your website, and it helps you get higher rankings on Google. It also is a minimal time commitment. I'm all about the ROI. You don't have to spend that much time on Pinterest to see amazing results. It's also easy for click-throughs. You don't have to go to the link in the bio. You don't have to wait for Instagram to give you the permission to sell your product directly from your account. It's already there for you. You don't need a lot of followers to get a lot of traffic. It's not a saturated market. Pinterest is looking for content to help its followers so it doesn't punish you with its algorithm. And then also they have an insane in-platform analytics that I think is just absolutely essential to creating your strategy and to helping you get even bigger results. I promise I'm going to try not to hate on Instagram too much during this course, but it's kind of hard because it really bothers me when I do something like create a perfect image, have amazing photography, sometimes pay for that photography, and then I post it on Instagram, and if people even see it, if the algorithm doesn't hide it from everyone, people will see it once, and that's it. That is all that photo. That's the entirety of that photo's lifespan. It's about 24 hours, and then it's sunk down your feed and down your page, and no one cares anymore. That is so not the case for Pinterest. Pinterest gives you the possibility of having your content live and be visited and be repurposed forever. There's nothing chronological about your feed, and I think that's awesome because sometimes we create content that lasts for years and that we don't want people to just see once and then be done with it. We want people to always be able to go back to it. We want to be able to use it in future marketing campaigns, whether it's seasonal or whether it's just a piece of evergreen content that is useful to our readers, and we want to make sure that they get to see it. The purpose of this little screenshot is just to tell you that whether you publish content in 2014 or 2018, it's still potentially helpful for your readers. If you're looking for Funfetti cinnamon rolls, like you can see up there, then it doesn't matter if you created it in 2014. It still applies in 2018, so they should still be able to read it and find it. And that's what Pinterest is good about. I also love that all my photos can be used. Like I said, sometimes I spend money on photography. I always spend a lot of time, whether it's taking the images themselves and the photo shoots or just editing them. I spend a lot of time on that. And yes, they go on my blog, but no one ever gets to my blog if they are not marketed to or if they are not pushed in that direction. Besides my everyday readers, I want new people to be seeing these images, and I want these images to be used for my marketing. And just one photo on Instagram is not going to cut it. So I love that I can use all of my photos. I can spread them out over time, or I can even put them all at once, and they're going to get seen. And when it comes to Pinterest, the more images you use, the more opportunities you're giving users to connect to your images and to click through to your content. I touched on this in Pinterest 101, but we cannot underestimate the power of having an audience that wants to buy and learn. They are already seeking out information. They are looking for the things that you're creating. They're not just scrolling and happening upon information that you're sharing with them and hoping that's what they're looking for. They're actually looking for the information you're sharing. That's how they're seeing your content. So in that sense, they're already warm customers. They're already ready to be sold to, ready to be informed, ready to be helped, whatever you're trying to give them. And if they're warm, maybe they're not actually able to look into the content right now, or maybe they know that later on this weekend they're going to be looking for bridesmaids dresses. So now they can't hit it now, but they're going to save it for later. This Pinterest gives them that opportunity to say, okay, I'm seeing this content. It's not going to just disappear in my feed. I want to actually mark this for later. And that's what they can do with Pinterest. Unlike all the other platforms, they are looking for information, help, answers, education from strangers and from new people They're totally fine with finding new brands and new companies. They just want the information that they're looking for. And once they find that, and once you kind of connect with them and are able to give them that information, it's very likely they're going to become subscribers or continue to follow you for years to come because you solved that problem for them. Okay, so a lot of Pinterest information that I found says that it does not help boost your SEO because Pinterest are no follow links or something of that nature. I'm not 100% positive what that means, I'm going to be honest with you, but what I do know is that it has certainly boosted my SEO. My Google rankings have totally, I don't know if tripled is even like big enough. They have like exploded. And I can tell that was because I had success on Pinterest, because when you search Kayla's 5 Things in Google, you'll see my blog, you'll see my Instagram, but you'll also see so many pages of my pins. And I know that me adding my blog name in the captions and having content that has gone viral has really boosted my rankings. So it's very important that you use it correctly so that it can do that, and it's working both to get organic traffic for you through Google and to get more traffic through Pinterest. You just have to make sure that that search privacy button is not on. You do not want to hide your profile from search engines because that is just killing it. So make sure that's on if you already have an account. In the future modules, I'll lay out exactly like what people say that they do and how many pins they say that they pin every day to work. But I'm just going to be honest with you up front. I don't think all those numbers are necessary. I think as bloggers, we don't have time to be spending on one social media platform forever. We have to do all of them because that's where our readers are at. So it's a matter of figuring out how much time is worth your investment and how you can get that traffic return. Another beautiful part about Pinterest is that most of the time, I would say about 90% of the time, you are reusing content instead of creating new content. There is some specific content you want to create for Pinterest, but a majority of the time, you're just reusing the content from your blog or your Instagram and sharing it on Pinterest, or you're repinning other people's content. Also, we'll talk in later modules about how you can make sure you can streamline your schedule for Pinterest to spend the least amount of time on it. It's really just practice makes perfect, and once you get it down, it takes so little time to come up with keywords and to come up with captions for your pins. Also, we'll talk about schedulers, which is a possibility for investing in if you really want to spend minimal time on it. You can hire people to do that for you. I also love that Pinterest is set up for clicking through. We all know that through Instagram, you have to go to the bio and then click the link, and then you possibly get to the relevant page. Pinterest is super easy. You click on the pin, click on the link, you're there. After spending so much time on Instagram, really trying to get followers in order to get those followers to engage, which is really all I care about, is that they engage and click through. I just really never saw click-throughs. Like, I probably get, this is from one week where I got 7 website clicks. I probably get like max 10 a week. Like, that is just pathetic for all the time that I spend on there and all the time that I try to get followers. On the other hand, with Pinterest, I have about 7,000 followers and I'm getting 114,000 impressions every day and about 1,500 clicks every day to my website. That's a big difference. I'm all about giving proof, so here's my Google Analytics social acquisition from 2018, so you guys can see that I am not lying. So yeah, 200 million people is a lot, but I really don't think that there are a lot of bloggers that are actually using it the way it's meant to be used and the way that could bring them traffic. It is just so underutilized that we want to take advantage of it before they all get the memo and come on board. Follower count doesn't matter. You can start anew. It's not so difficult to really try to start from the beginning to try to gain a good Pinterest strategy. While everyone's kind of focused on Instagram and maybe Facebook ads, I'm all about hopping over to Pinterest where it's free and profitable and where we can get it before the rest of the people do. So the other thing about Pinterest is that it does have an algorithm. Yes, the algorithm changed. That's every social platform, which is why most people say that make sure you're getting an email list because that's the only thing that you can control. Right now, though, the algorithm is really working in our favor. They know that their users need our information, and they know that we create the information that can answer all their questions and help them have a good Pinterest experience. So we're there to help. So they kind of are more likely to connect us to their users because we're giving them what they're looking for. Once they see that people are clicking through, which is our goal, then they start to reward us and show our content to more people because they see that we're helping people and that people are actually getting helpful answers from the content that we're adding to Pinterest. And the fact that most of us are side hustlers, the fact that we do not yet have to pay to play is amazing. Of course, there are promoted pins and there are options to pay to get more engagement faster and to make a bigger impression faster. But honestly, I haven't paid a single cent with Kayla's 5 Things, and I'm still getting results. So that's what we're going to focus on. I'm not going to talk a lot about in-platform analytics right now, but I am just going to say that they're really awesome. I love them, and I think that I'm going to be able to teach you a way that you can really use it to be able to re-strategize your Pinterest and readjust your Pinterest as time goes on. For this module's Take Action section, I just want you to look at the document that I have under this section in Teachable. It's all resources about Pinterest. It's more information about what Pinterest is, who's on Pinterest, if you want to look at other sources, just so you can kind of get another perspective. I also want you to just kind of play around on the platform. If there are things you haven't looked at yet, pages you haven't clicked, if you haven't looked through Pinterest's blog, I would definitely do that and just kind of get a good idea of what it does and what it wants the creators to do. Finally, we don't really have to recreate the wheel here. There are lots of brands, stores, and bloggers that are using the platform really well. So I think it's a good idea to just look at your favorite blogs and brands and see how they are using the platform and see what their follower count looks like and if they seem to be using it in a way that you would like to recreate in the future. If you have any questions or just want to share something that you learned about Pinterest, please, please, please put it in the private Facebook group. That's what that's for. We're really all about helping the community of Pinterest for bloggers, users, and for, learning from each other. And I'm going to be popping in there to answer questions as well. I hope you guys got a lot out of that little Pinterest 101 class, and I hope you can tell that there's a lot that Pinterest can do for you in your blog and can really help your business goals for this year. So I want to tell you guys about my online course. I do have a full course where I go into more details about how you could actually use this awesome, amazing platform to grow your blog. And I go from everything from like what you should put in your captions, how you should arrange your boards, a lot of stuff, group boards, schedulers. I go into everything, every single detail that you would need and every detail that I use for both my personal business account and for my clients' business accounts. So if you're interested at all, this is where you can find it, kaylawatkins.com/Pinterest-for-bloggers. And the course is $197, just so you know. It is jam-packed, you guys. I promise you I did not leave anything out. So if you'd like to take a look at that, please do. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at pinterestforbloggers@gmail.com. Thanks, guys.